What's up, you guys? My name is Hardeep Singh, a.k.a. Mr. Real Estate. I'm an expert in the South Seattle market, the suburbs of Seattle, specifically South King County, anywhere from SeaTac, Federal Way, Kent, Auburn. And today we're going to talk about what is going on in the local real estate market here in the suburbs of Seattle. First of all, I just want to start off with my personal opinion. Uh, this market's not going anywhere. If you're looking to buy in the Seattle area, even if you go out to the east side, Bellevue, Redmond, or you're coming down south to Kent, Auburn, Covington, or even along the western coast of cities of like Des Moines and Federal Way, things like that, houses are flying off the shelf. This video is recorded today, April 1st, 2024, and the market is at a frenzy. So if you guys, I think everyone knows what happened these last couple of years, especially in 2020, 2021, when rates were 3%, houses selling for 100, 200,000, 300,000 over list price. Well, guess what? The rates today are at 7%, and we're starting to see the same thing. Inventory is low, rates are high, but houses are selling hundreds of thousands of dollars over list price, especially in the east side. So my personal opinion, this market's not going anywhere, at least until we have more inventory. And we'll talk about inventory in a little bit of when can we expect more inventory. Right now, I think I was looking at one of the charts earlier. In King County alone, last month, there was 1,325 houses for sale and 1,153 sold. So if I do the quick math here, 1153 divided by, what was it, 1325 I said? 87% of the houses are selling within the first 30 days, and most of them with multiple offers. So if you're a buyer in the Seattle market or you're looking to buy, it's tough out there, man. And I run into a lot of clients at open houses, even some of my own buyers, and it's a struggle on finding a home. So we want to talk about where the market is at, which you guys pretty much got a glimpse of. We'll talk a little bit in depth, and I'll share a couple stories of some listings that sold here recently in the last couple of weeks. And we'll talk about where the market will be in the next 3 to 6 months by the end of this year. It is an election year, so there's a lot of unknown out there. But once again, my personal opinion, this market's not going anywhere. So we'll start off right off the bat. What's the market like? So here's what I'm seeing. If you're looking anywhere in the east side, Bellevue, Redmond area, get ready to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars over list price. Not on every home, but the homes that are good, they're priced well, they show well, and you'll usually have a line of buyers for that home. So first example, this is in Redmond. It just sold on March 22nd. CDOM stands for Continuous Days on Market. 1 day on the market. 3 bedrooms, 2.25 bath, just shy of 2,000 square feet. And it was built in 1976. So check this out. It listed for 1.188, $1,188,000. And look at the sold price, you guys. This is insane. 1 day on market sold for 1.43. So we're talking just shy of $300,000 over list price at today's current interest rates of 7%. So this is just the first example. What's happening is this is going on everywhere. And I'm going to work my way down from Bellevue to Newcastle to Renton to my local area of Kent. So now that was Redmond. We go down a little bit in Bellevue. Same thing. This house sold on March 25th. 3 days on market, 4 beds, 2.25 bath, 2,580 square feet, built in 1972. This house was listed for 1.25 million, and it sold for 1.387, $137,000 over list price. Like I said, this is all just happening right now in real time as we speak. Now we're gonna hop down to Newcastle. Same thing. Newcastle, 1 day on market, closed March 25th. 3 beds, 2.5 bath, 2,600 square feet. I think this house was built in 1990. The list price was 1.32 million. It sold for 1.5. $180,000 over list price. So, before we get into renting, you guys can see it's a frenzy out there in the east side. When houses are selling for this much over ask, it shows that there is a pent up demand. There's not enough inventory to meet that demand. Buyers are willing to do whatever, not just pay over list price. They're waiving their appraisals, they're waiving their inspections, and some of them are even waiving financing if they're even getting financing. And now we're gonna move into Renton and then Kent, and I want to share a little bit about what's happening with buyers because they're starting to trickle down to Kent, to Auburn, to Covington. Here we go. Renton. Renton sold March 29th, 6 days on market, 5 beds, 2.5 bath, 2,740 square feet. This house was built in 2003. So you see what's happening here? The houses are getting a little bit newer, they're getting bigger, and the price is going down a little bit. So the further you go down south, starting from Bellevue, the more house you can get for your money. So this one was listed at 1,050,000, sold for 1.228, just shy of 1.23 million. So you're still having that crazy bidding war even in Renton. So now we get into Kent, and we're going to do a couple examples, and I'm going to share my thoughts on here. So now we're in Kent. Boom. Here we are. So this house closed March 6th, so just less than a month ago. 4 beds, 2.25 bath, 2,050 square feet, and it was built in 1995. This house originally listed for 725,000 and sold for 780. So you see, the bidding war is still here, but it's not as dramatic as Bellevue and the Renton Highlands and Newcastle. So what I see, we do a lot of business in the South King County, specifically in the area of Kent, Auburn, Covington, is we're starting to see the buyers from the east side migrate down to the South King County area. And just last week, a couple weeks ago, I was at my open houses, and most of the people that came in came from the east side or even the city of Seattle. And of course, I asked some questions, what brings them down here, et cetera, et cetera. And they're talking about the same thing that these statistics show you. The bidding war up there is insane. So imagine you're looking at a house for 1.1 million, and you know you're not going to get that house until you pay 1.3 or 1.4 in East Side or Bellevue. That same buyer is thinking, gee, why not go down to Kent and get the same house for under a million? And yes, maybe I'll pay 50,000 over, but I'm saving $400,000-500,000. Sure, what are the pros and cons of that? Okay, I have to drive a little further into the city. Sure, I'll take on an extra 30 minutes of drive time to save $300,000-400,000. So most of these buyers are coming from the east side, coming down to these cities, and what's happening with the local prices, they're bidding up. So last example, another house in Kent. We'll just go at a lower price point. I would call this like the first entry-level price point for first-time home buyers. This house sold on March 18th, 5 days on market, 3 beds, 2.5 bath, just shy of 1,500 square feet, built in 1983, listed for 610,000, sold for 640. So this same house, if you were to put it in Newcastle, it would sell for $1 million. So this is what's happening today in today's market. Multiple offers, low inventory, pent-up demand. So now we're going to talk about inventory. Wherein can we expect more inventory? This is the question I get from a lot of buyers. Hardeep, when is the right time to buy, right? So there's two answers to that. So my first answer is always the right time to buy is when you're ready to buy and you can afford to buy in the areas that you're looking. Let me say that again. The right time to buy is when you're ready to buy, when you can afford to buy in the areas that you're looking at, right? So if you can afford to purchase a home today without breaking an arm and leg, without sacrificing your personal life, your leisure time, and still pay your monthly payments, then buy, right? Because what I see is this market over the next 2 months is still going to keep going the way it is. Inventory has to skyrocket, and I'm talking about skyrocket for prices to start leveling off. But the way things are going, it doesn't happen overnight. Real estate is not like the stock market. You can't just buy and sell today. It takes time for inventory to come up on the market. It takes time for houses to sell. So until we get more inventory, which we will, how much more? We don't know, but there's going to be more. Until we get more inventory, and typically inventory starts to rise. This is seasonal. Every year it's the same thing in the Seattle market. Inventory peaks in the summer months, June, July, August, September. That's how it's been since I've been in the business since 2014. The summertime, kids are out of school. It's great weather. Let's paint the house. Let's do the landscaping. Let's get the house on the market. So the inventory, you're going to have a little bit more, you would say, opportunity instead of making a quick and hasty decision because there's only one house and you have 10 buyers and doing crazy things to buy that home. Maybe in the summer you'll have a little bit more selection. The other reason the inventory is tight is people that bought in the last few years at 2, 3, 4% interest rates, they're sitting on that rate. So they're thinking, well, I'm on a 3% interest rate. Why should I sell and purchase at 7% interest rate? My payment's going to double and I'm going to get a smaller house for what I got. You know what, honey? Let's just hold off. We're not, unless you need to sell, you're not selling. Let me repeat that. Unless you need to sell, you're moving out of state, job relocation, financial situation, you're not selling. I've met a lot of sellers and they're not selling because they don't need to, right? So you have low inventory, you have high rates, you have homeowners that purchase in the last 3 to 4 years sitting on super low rates. And until things change around, this multiple offer scene is not going to go away anytime soon. What do we see as far as this year? So with this, I have a little bit of opinions, right? I think if this is going on today, and I'm looking at the data that I shared with you, I think it's going to continue. It's going to continue until we get more inventory. And here's the other problem, right? We're talking about rates. People are thinking, well, if rates come down, I'll buy a home. Well, what happens if people are doing these crazy offers at 7% rates? Let's just say the rates are at 6%. That's going to bring more buyers into the market. The frenzy is going to go even hotter. So it's kind of like you're in a position where it's like, man, what do I do? Right? If rates go from 7 to 6%, let's just say, you're going to have that many more buyers come into the market because now rates are gone down. But what's going to happen? The price on the home is going to jump up again. There's going to be more multiple offers, more contingencies being waived. So it's a tough cookie to crack. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this content. Like I said, my goal is to bring more value to you guys. I want to really educate you. I'm boots on the ground. I do this every day from morning to night. I want to bring you guys value. I want to be able to help guide you to make the right decision for you and your family, right? Whether the time is now, 6 months, a year, the Seattle market is always changing. 6 months ago, when rates were at a peak of 7.5%, houses weren't flying off the shelf like they were today. Houses were sitting on the market 30, 40, 60 days. And just like that, within 6 months, less than 6 months, the market has shifted. And another 2, 3, 6 months down the road, the market may shift again. But that is the unknown, and we'll find out. I'm going to keep you guys up to date on what's happening here. So if you're relocating, you're thinking about purchasing a home, your first home, second home, investment, and you want to specifically be in the South King County area, that is the area that I am an expert in. The city of Kent, Auburn, Covington, Maple Valley, the South King County area. So once again, my goal is to bring you guys value. I want to be able to help educate you through data, not through bluff. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to make up a bunch of stuff I want to show you what's happening today, live time, so that way you guys can decide if this is the right time for you. I'm your local expert right here in the South King County area, the cities of Kent, Auburn, Covington, Maple Valley. That's my backyard. Every single neighborhood, every single school. I can tell you off the back of my hand where to be, what neighborhoods you want to be, what neighborhoods to avoid. So if you have any questions, please reach out via text, call, email. My number, everything is in this description below. Once again, I'm Hardeep Singh, aka Mr. Real Estate. Peace.